If you have ever been in Diamond, then you know how slow, how time consuming, and how painstakingly frustrating it can be to try to progress. That's why I've put together 5 tips that will bring your game from Diamond to Champion. What's up guys, Fusion9 here, and welcome back to my channel. So recently I decided to make the switch from Xbox to PC, and I was actually looking forward to the grind to get my rank back up to champ. And for the most part, everything was going great. I was winning games consistently, and there were no real problems. Until I kind of ran into a wall around Diamond 2. I got kind of tilted, I started losing games, and honestly, it got pretty frustrating. So I started looking at replays, I started picking apart my gameplay, seeing what things I could improve on and what things I just need to stop doing entirely. And it wasn't until I actually started applying those things to my gameplay that I started moving through Diamond. So I'm going to try to break down as simply as I can the things that I learned from watching my replays so that hopefully y'all can take those things and apply them to your game as well. So without further ado, let's get into it with tip number 1, which is get more comfortable on the wall. By now guys, the wall should be like a second home to you. I can't even tell you how many times I've seen even people in Diamond 3 go up for a wall clear or a wall pass and just completely miss it. I would say that once you get into champ, just about as much of the game is played on the wall as it is on the ground. So if you're not comfortable or you're unfamiliar with playing on the wall, then you're going to be at a severe disadvantage when you finally do get through Diamond. So how can I get better at this, you might ask? Well, there's a lot of ways actually, and one of which that I highly recommend is this custom training pack Wall to Aerial by Wheelchair. It's normally always on the browse section of custom training, but if not, I'm going to leave the code up for a few seconds just so y'all can get that down. This pack's got a pretty wide variety, like wall shots, wall clears, wall passes, pretty much anything you can think of. And honestly, when I was in Diamond, I would say that this training pack probably helped me the most out of anything. It made me comfortable on the wall, it made me comfortable coming off the wall, it made me comfortable getting a touch and then following it from the wall for a double touch. It pretty much just all around made me a better player. So I can't stress this training pack enough guys. You should use it, you should go through it as many times as you can because I promise you it will make you better. There's a lot of other ways that you can get more comfortable on the wall. For me personally, I like to go into free play and practice driving the ball up the wall for an air dribble. Getting better at these wall to air dribbles made it to where I was more confident coming off the wall and consistently connecting the nose of my car to the ball. This is something I could apply to pretty much anything. I used to have a problem with coming off the wall and getting a pass to a teammate or power shotting on goal. But learning how to come off the wall and quickly and consistently orient my car to where I had control over the ball overall made my wall hits more consistent, more powerful, and more controlled. As for other ways to get better at this, I'm sure there's plenty of training packs and plenty of drills that you can do on your own. The main thing that you need to focus on is just stretching yourself. As long as you're doing things that you're uncomfortable with, that's what's going to make the difference and that's what's going to make you a better player. Which brings me to my second tip, which is go for things that you're uncomfortable with. I used to have trouble with backboard reads, and it wasn't until I started practicing them in a real game situation that I started improving. Even though I knew that there was a very big chance that I was going to miss it and that it could possibly even turn into a goal for the other team, I knew that I was never going to get better just sitting and being comfortable. Now that being said, this doesn't mean that every time you see an opportunity to go up for the ball that you should. My advice is, as long as you're in rotation and it's your turn to go for the ball, then go for it. Even if you miss it, you'll learn from it, and every time you go up for that same shot, you'll be just a little bit better at it. And before you know it, you'll be hitting those shots like a pro. So yeah guys, if you're wanting to improve, you need to make sure that you're not being complacent. you need to be intentionally taking mental steps that will make you better. And this brings me to my third tip, which is very important, and that is be more intentional. There's actually a lot of things that I could say about this one, so for sake of y'all's understanding, I'm going to try to break it down into two parts. And the first one is to be more intentional with the way you practice. For me, I like to make a little training schedule for myself and go through it every day, or if not, as much as possible. One of the things that I like to do to help with my car control is to go into free play, drive up to the ball, make sure ball cam is on, and practice aerialing around the ball without using air roll. Doing this drastically improved my car control and made me a lot more comfortable with every camera angle and every position my car would be in a real game scenario. Also, on top of that, I always do a drill to work on my ball control by picking the ball up and keeping it on top of my car while I drive around the field. Depending on how advanced you are, you may be able to keep it on top of your car and you may not be able to. If you can't, practice keeping control of it and gradually getting it on top of your car. Doing this every day tremendously improved my ball control skills, which are absolutely essential while playing twos. The next thing I would do is practice something that you're currently struggling with. Whether it be backboard reads, air dribbles, or any other mechanic, find some time to practice these little parts of your game. And you don't have to do this for very long at all. For me, I only spent about 5 minutes on each drill every day, but I quickly started to see myself improve and saw myself connecting more plays that I previously would not have been able to. So find some time regularly, whether it be 5, 10, 15, or even 30 minutes, to intentionally work on these little drills. And I promise that over time, you'll start to see it add up and you'll start to see improvement. Now, the other way to be more intentional, and this is seriously, I think, the most important thing that I'm going to say this entire video, and that is to be more intentional with your touches. The key element I feel that separates Diamond and Champion players are how intentional they are with every touch. The thing I notice the most about playing with Diamond players, and I used to do this as well, is how quick they are to power hit the ball downfield and turn over possession to the other team. Twos is all about making plays and maintaining possession, so you never just want to willfully turn the ball over. Doing this made one of the most significant impacts on my game when I was in Diamond, and it's something that I'm still working at because you can always get better at it. And when I say this, what I really mean is instead of constantly booming the ball down the field to get it out of your goal or to get it off of your half, try to control it. Get a feel for where the defenders are, get a feel for where your teammate is, and take some time to decide what you can do next to make a play happen. And honestly, it actually took a while for this to sink in with me. It took some time to build the habit of constantly thinking through these things. And so to build that habit, I was constantly trying to think not only about my first touch and what I'm going to do with it, but also my second touch. Every time I touched the ball, I was always thinking, what could I do next? Just staying aware and keeping this in mind every game and every time you go for the ball will bring your game to that next level. Another great way to get more intentional, and this was a hard one for me, is to play ones. I know ones can be frustrating. They definitely were for me, but it quickly forces you to be intentional with your touches. When I was in Diamond, I would always get so frustrated because I kept losing and I couldn't rank up, and I always wondered why, and I finally took a look at my ones game and realized that I was still gold 2. So I started grinding out ones and focusing on outplaying my opponent mentally. And after a while of doing that, I went back to twos, and getting to champ was a breeze. I feel like Diamond players have a lot of the mechanics that are necessary for champ, but it's the mental game that lacks. So just be attentive and maintain focus on being intentional. And so that brings me to my fourth tip, which is very quick and simple, and that is to watch pro gameplay. Watching players like Squishy or Cronovi's twos gameplay has always helped me. seeing the way they handle certain situations somehow tends to translate those same methods into my game. A lot of times I like to watch it before I start a 2 session, just to get my mind in a place where I'm ready to play my best game. Even if it's just one single game, I promise you it will help. And so last but not least, we've come to my 5th and final tip, and this one can be tricky, and that's to work on improving your game sense. This one can be hard to explain, but it kind of ties into the being intentional tip. The best way I can describe game sense is to be aware of your surroundings and what each player on the field is currently doing. To further demonstrate this, I'm going to try to explain it by going through a clip of mine. Alright, so this part's pretty obvious. My teammate on the right is going to go for the ball, so I'm going to go pick up boost on the left. So the ball's coming my way. I'm going to look for the possible roll up, and so there it is, so I'm going to clear it. So here I see that this guy's starting to inch towards me, and they're probably expecting me to get a small hit off so they can control it towards my goal. So I decide to delay it for a second, and so I see that that guy's inching forward and this guy's coming up underneath me, so I know that I can probably push it past them towards their goal. So I get it, it works out. Here, I see that he's on the wall and he's in an uncomfortable position to go for the ball right now. I know that I can probably beat him to the ball if I go now. So I go up, I try to get a little touch to my teammate, so now they're out of position and all that's left is for him to finish it, which he winds up missing, but luckily it went in anyways. I don't know if that was the best example, but I think y'all get the point. It's all about staying aware. And guys, game sense is something that you can always improve on. Pro players like Squishy have even gone to the extent of counting down 10 seconds every time a boost is taken by using the game timer to make sure that they never go for a boost that isn't going to spawn. This, I think, brings the concept of game sense to the next level, and it's something that I haven't even began to think about doing. But who knows, as time goes on, this might become the new norm, so feel free to try it. So there you have it. Those are the 5 most important tips I could think of to get from Diamond to Champion. If these helped you or if you enjoyed the video, be sure to let me know in the comments, drop a like on this video, and if you're feeling it, hit the subscribe button and turn on bell notifications to get alerted when I drop some fire content. Also guys, I set up a Twitter account and I'll be posting on there when I drop a new video or anything like that, so go check that out if you'd like. I'll link it in the description. Other than that guys, that's just about it. So keep it real and I will see you in the next video.